Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Jackie's Daydream or Wellness with Jackie. If you don't follow the rest of my social medias, my TikTok, my Instagram, my YouTube, they're the exact same on every platform. So just type it in how you see it and come say what's up. Today I am coming from the car because I want to be a lot more consistent with posting. Again, I have my 50 videos a year post goal right now. And that's specifically on YouTube. So I'm trying to reach that. And I definitely need to get on that before the end of the summer, before I go back to school. Yeah, if you have like suggestions of what you want to hear, let me know. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I will say right now, I'm very tired. Like, I'm very tired. Not necessarily wanting to record it right now, but I do. When I tell y'all, I've been trying to record this video like 5,000 times. Um, that's neither here or there. Today I wanted to talk about my experiences with sickle cell. Um, oh, I didn't know what that was. Okay. I wanted to talk about my experiences with sickle cell. Oh, that's what I was saying. We're in a new setting because I want to be consistent. I don't know what the fuck I just said, but girl, anyways. Yeah, today I wanted to talk about my experiences with sickle cell. And that's not necessarily for like any pity or anything, but just to talk about it because like nobody really knows or understands except other people with sickle cell. And I've never really been open about my experiences with it. Like I tell people that I have it, but even when I do tell them and they may know what it is or may not, like they just don't get it like day to day vibes. So I wanted to kind of just like talk about it. I don't know. Um, I don't even know where to start. Like, I can't even, start from the beginning. We're gonna start from the beginning. When I was born, when I was born in Atlanta, Georgia, 2002, um, we, I was born, not we, I was born, and the hospital did not tell my parents that I had sickle cell. So my let's start it way back actually. Let's start this way actually back because my mother was very adamant about not she knew she had the trait for sickle cell. She knew my grandpa had the trait for sickle cell. She was very adamant about like not having a partner with a sickle cell trait. And she made sure of that. She made sure of that. She made all her partners get tested. Like anyone that she was like dating, she made them get tested, including my dad. However, however, and this can lead me into my first topic, the lack of education. Because she goes, she has a baby with them. They don't tell her that she has sickle cell. Me is she that has sickle cell. And then she finds out like maybe 4 months later, she gets a call from the Sickle Cell Foundation of Georgia, and they're like, your kid has sickle cell. Like you have to bring it to the children's hospital. And she's like, my baby don't got no sickle cell. What the fuck y'all talking about? Mind you, I was yellow. I definitely had jaundice when I popped out the wound, and that is like one of the biggest telltale signs that your kid has something wrong with them. Um, and yeah, and so my father actually has alpha thalassemia trait, which is a completely different blood disorder. Um, and then that combined with sickle cell, and now I have sickle cell beta thalassemia. Um, and so it is a rare form. Obviously, like not everybody's gonna have that trait. It is also probably the least common to have any issues, which is why I'm able to like work as much as I do, go to school like I can, like it doesn't affect me to that as far as pain and how often I go into pain crisis. If you don't know anything about sickle cell, um It's what is it called? A vascular So, anyways, sickle cell people, we have these things called sickle cell crisis. And what happens is the blood cells are shaped, our red blood cells are shaped like crescent moons, and they can't carry oxygen or water. They get very sticky and they cause a lot of blood clots, and they're very painful. And so that causes a pain episode pretty much. And the episodes kind of vary. They can vary, like they can be just super light, like super, you can still operate with them. I often have those pains. Like I thought that was a very normal thing growing up, but turns out it's not. um to like have a finger hurting or like have a arm hurting throughout the day, and it may not last for a long time, may last for like it may happen that one time, that one, it is a very specific pain. Um it may happen that one time and it may not come back, or it'll happen straight for 20 minutes, but it's not like the end of the world. Like it doesn't hurt too bad, but it is annoying and persistent. And then there are some that can last weeks. There are some that can last months. So yeah, that's pretty much what sickle cell is a little bit. There are triggers. Triggers like my biggest triggers are being wet and cold. Um I don't know. Like I really don't understand the science of like why cold is the thing, but like also we're anemic. Like we we don't always be cold. So that's kind of crazy. Um and what else? What else? What else? Oh, there's stress, of course. Stress is gonna make your cortisol levels go up. And for anybody with any type of disorder or like condition, stress is one of like the biggest things that will take you out. Me personally, it'd be taking me out real bad. Another cause can be like injury. So when I got in a car accident a couple years ago, my back was hurting, and I would constantly go back into pain crisis, and I never had pain crisis in my back. I don't know who I would wish that on, but that was some crazy shit. Also, as a woman, period cramps can cause pain. So yeah, there's a lot of different triggers, and everybody's trigger is different and everybody's reaction is very different. Um, I will say that I personally grew up with parents that like stepped in very heavily whenever I was having issues with my sickle cell. So, like keeping up with my meds, keeping up with how much water I drank, and you know, just things to keep me healthy. Also, I don't know if I mentioned this, but because our red blood cells can be crescent, they don't carry water, they don't carry oxygen, they don't carry nutrients throughout the body, like, so we lack all of those. Um, so yeah, they really uh I wouldn't even say hovered over me, but they probably sheltered me the most, just because I'm the only person in my entire family with sickle cell. Nobody in my immediate family has it, and nobody in my entire family has it, just the traits. Nobody in my nobody in my immediate family has the trait except my parents. My siblings don't have anything. So I grew up very sheltered, very isolated a lot, just with this experience. Uh, yeah, like that's some people like I know people who like all their siblings have sickle cell, which I don't know how we're living. It's like I don't know how y'all do that, but amen. Stay alive. I guess I can go into like my upbringing with it a little bit more, but like again, like growing up, I was like the only person that I knew with this thing, right? And I didn't realize how I think I did. I think I did because I didn't never hear anybody else have this thing, and I didn't understand how severe it could get. My first 2, like, recollections of a pain crisis, I remember, I was probably, like, 5 or 6. I had to be at least 6 because we lived in my old house. Um, my window was, like my bed was right next to my window, and I had, like, curtains. So, I didn't know, but the window was kind of cracked, like, very slightly cracked, and it was letting in cold air. It's the middle of the winter, it's letting in cold air. And I just remember, like, waking up crying because my wrist was hurting really bad. And actually, I didn't even wake myself up. I was crying in my sleep. My dad comes in the room and he's like, "You're crying like you're," and I guess I was loud because and like my parents' room is right next to my room, so I guess they could hear me crying through the wall. My dad comes and gets me out the bed, and like that's when we discovered like the window was cracked. So that was one of my earliest recollections of a crisis. Um, Another one that and as a child, I couldn't really grasp why this was happening. But another one was in middle school or elementary school, actually. You know how they would make you like run a mile around the track? I don't know if anybody else experienced this, but if you went to school in Atlanta or where I went to school, shit, they would make you run like PE class, they would make you run like a mile around the track. And this would happen like maybe twice a year. And then you go around the track 4 times and then like afterwards you go play or whatever. But they literally made everybody do this. And it was the middle of the winter, and of course, I didn't know like to not do this because I was a child. So I'm like walking around the track, like talking with my friends and everything. And I remember coming back in, I think, or out there, um, like having the craziest pain in my leg, like craziest pain in my leg, to the point where like it was really hard to walk. And so I remember like calling my mom and like going to the not principal's, the nursing office, and she comes and gets me, and um that's really like the most I remember, but I just remember it being like a crazy concept to me, like I can't go walk in on the track like with my friends, like it's the middle of the winter. I was so ready to go play too. Like I went around that track for a minute, like it did not kick in for a minute. Um and that's another thing. It can kick in like immediately or it can kick in later. Like it's kind of crazy. Like it's exhausting actually. Um yeah, so those are my like 2 earliest memories of pain crisis. I didn't go to the hospital often actually at all. I remember one time when I was young, I went for a fever, and that was probably like the the most I went for. We can't really like have fevers or anything because it makes us more susceptible to having infections, and infections, especially in the blood, are really bad for us. Um, so I remember that being like the only reason why I went to the hospital, but all of my pain crises were managed at home. Um, and it could be over like a couple hours or like one night or like days. So, um, that was something that like and I guess like I can get into like I guess my transition as an adult now. That was something that I wasn't really aware of. Like there were probably moments where I probably should have went to the hospital, but sometimes you're just hell bent on like trying to not stop our lives for this disorder because it's as an adult it's happened to me so many times actually, like um where I have to genuinely say, like, I can't go through with that no more because this is about to take me out. Like, this is about to, um, do it. This is about to do it to me. Um, yeah, I will say, like, getting older with it, it becomes a little bit, well, for me, I'm gonna speak on my experience because my experience is not everybody has experienced. And that is part of the reason why I do these things. Um, Growing older with it, I think I was on such a routine when I was younger, like, even through high school and things like that, like, it was pretty, like, routine, so it wasn't anything that I was doing, like, out of the ordinary all the time or whatever. But as I became an adult and I started to, um, create more friends or, like, go out, hang out, things like that, I went to college and, that was a different stressor for me. It was a whole different, like, lifestyle or adjustment I had to make for myself. Um, Getting older, it just really put a lot of things into perspective because I didn't have my parents, like, and it's not like I needed my parents to keep up with my meds or, um, you know, to keep up with my water intake or things like that. But there are decisions that you make as you grow into an adult that you don't necessarily like, and it's nothing bad, but you don't necessarily like need to involve your parents in everything, and you don't really think to until something bad goes wrong or happens. So things like over drinking, like that's not something I really thought about when I was younger. I didn't really think about like alcohol being able to dehydrate you or, you know, hanging out with your friends all night or accidentally getting caught in the rain while you're out or something like that. Um, or dating and that person is stressing you the fuck out. Like I've literally went to the hospital just because like the person that I was dating, like I'm up on the phone middle of the night screaming, yelling, and next day I'm in the hospital. Like that's how um dire things got, I guess. And so that right there, I would say that moment too, like that really taught me like, okay, you just can't take no bullshit. Like you just really I'm not in the position to take bullshit like people who are not in my position, you know? I often have like a lot of friends or not a lot, but I've had friends, I've had like associates, family members stay in very stressful situations or not be strict on their well-being, and it is very frustrating because yes, you don't want to see anybody going through something like that or whatever, but sometimes it can be very isolating because you have to be really strict on yourself when you have a disorder like this. Like you have to not take bullshit. And it has led me to be kind of like stone cold sometimes. Um, but I think I'd rather be stone cold than have somebody play in my face and I'm in the hospital the next day. Get me fucked up, babe. Get me fucked up. I'd rather lose my job than like go in and I'm hurting. I'd rather like call out last minute can't take my clients than to go into my job and possibly make things worse for myself. And that doesn't happen like often, but it's still something that you have to keep in mind if you want longevity. Also something that I learned going into an adult is that from age 18 to 25 is our highest mortality rate. Uh, and that is because of that transition from being with your parents all the time to being on your own. Now you have to make your own doctor's appointments. You have to show up for your doctor appointments. You have to keep your prescriptions refilled. You have to, um, be cautious, like I said earlier, where you're not thinking about, oh, like if I have another drink, is it gonna send me into a crisis? Or if I stay out too late and I don't get enough rest, is it gonna send me into a crisis? So, and I think that can be like my next video, honestly. Just talking more about that transition because that is that is when we lose the most people, honestly. Um, yeah, and I think I can end it here. So that I don't know, like I don't know what I'm doing with this channel. I do know what I'm doing with this channel, but um, do you guys like me talking about sickle cell? Do you guys like me just talking about wellness in general or like the having a disability in general. I don't know. Oh, I should have mentioned I can go into it. I can go into it another time. But yeah, like that is pretty much my thoughts today. I don't know what this video is gonna like entail or look like, but that is kind of why I have switched my gears to wellness instead of like the fashion thing. Um, and I probably will do that in the future. Like that's still something I really like, fashion and beauty, obviously. I'm an esthetician, but like right now it's not really a focus. So yeah, I don't really know how to conclude this really or wrap this up, but just let me know like what you like to listen to and what you want to hear from me. Um, People with sickle cell or with other disorders, what you want me to talk about or want me to like tell my perspective on. Yeah, that is about it. I'm really tired right now. I just came from Pilates, kicked my ass real bad. Um, yeah. So I will get this uploaded and I will try to film another video this week. I have to cough really bad right now. I'm trying not to choke. I will film another video this week, try to get it uploaded and everything. Keep posting my clips, keep reposting, keep sharing, keep commenting. I really love you guys' comments. You guys are commenting a lot more, especially on my shorts. Yeah, and welcome to my channel, my new subscribers. I love y'all. Y'all are cool. Talk more. What the hell? Yeah. Again, this is Jackie's Daydream or Wellness with Jackie. It's like this on all platforms. My lip gloss. Can somebody work the science of this? Like, why does that happen? Anyways, um, yeah, like, subscribe, comment, share. If you're on TikTok, repost. Post it on your story. Yeah, be well.